I wanna have some extended anecdote time before we get into the actual like episode because it's gonna be fucked like the last one. Uh, does anybody? Lindsay, you were fucking traveling. You probably have some anecdotes.
Nothing that isn't wildly depressing, and like I would not make jokes about it because it was a little traumatic. So
Okay, so
I
maybe,
got nothing.
so maybe save that one for
We
later.
could talk about the stripper and my grandma and that whole situation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Is your grandma a stripper?
So we're gonna be doing that. You you want to extrapolate?
Wait. You know what? This does remind me of something. Before we hear specifics, I do have a story actually that So
I'm like in a James Lynch, like a David Lynch movie, dude. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
When I was in college, the sad part of this is that my grandmother passed.
Oh.
And when we went to New Jersey for the funeral,
she was a stripper.
We get to like my grandfather was still alive, and he wanted us, me and my two stepsisters and my two cousins, were all ladies, to go through her jewelry box and pick out some jewelry that we could have from grandma.
Please tell me you found a Fabergé butt plug.
We were just like going through normal shit. We found grandma's nipple tassels.
Let's fucking go. And you took them, right?
I didn't take them, but boy, were we howling. We're like, what the fuck are these? And then someone's like, those are absolutely nipple tassels. Shout out to grandma. You had nipple tassels. We knew it. And considering you were a scotch drinker who my sisters got for her birthday one year, one of those dogs from Spencer's that they're like, it's a plush chihuahua that you strap to their leg, they turn it on and it starts humping your leg. Grandma loved it. Grandma also loved the apron. My sister showed up for Christmas Eve one year, which was like, it was a dual apron, and then when you flip up one, it's a giant hairy dick.
Yep.
So I'm not even surprised that Grandma had nipple tassels, but that was what it just reminded me of. But please tell us about your stripper grandmother.
No,
my grandma
I want to pause,
stripper.
Adrian. I want to pause, Adrian.
Yeah, no.
We'll get back to your stripper grandma.
Yeah.
Lindsay, can you describe to me in details the appearance of your grandmother's nipple tassels?
They were pretty mundane, to be honest. They were like sparkly silver, like with silver strings, basically.
How long were the strings, would you say? 2-3 inches, perhaps?
Like an inch and a half.
Hang on.
Damn, I'd
like
fuck your
definitely
grandma.
if you like did some gyrating motions, the tassels would spin. Comfortably.
Were they like golden? Were they?
No, it was definitely like a silvery.
Silver.
Sorry,
I'm like
send me that link.
Yeah.
Are you?
Sorry, I'm a visual learner.
Yeah. So he's trying to find.
Are you gonna buy yourself some silver nipple tassels to carry on my grandmother's legacy?
No, Lindsay. He's gonna buy us some silver nipple tassels to carry on grandma's legacy. Oh, that one has like a pussy plate.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my god!
Give Lindsay a look at that.
Yeah, you need to send that one to me. I'm very curious now.
I'm very concerned about adding this to my photos because our home computer is an Apple computer.
You know, you can just turn it towards the camera because we are streaming.
Yeah,
I already saved it.
All right, well, good for you, big guy.
So,
did you save the link to purchase them?
I'm the type of person who looks up fucked up shit with. I never turn on incognito mode. I never look up incognito. Ooh. You know, there's a name for that though, and I can't remember what it's called. It's something that they use in acting too, from what I understand. It's like a wig but meant for pubic hair.
I liked my term that I came up with on the spot of pussy plate.
So apparently,
it's accurate.
It's called Nips and Bits Merkin.
Merkin.
That's what it is. Yes, that is a merkin.
I prefer pussy plate. I'm just going to put it out there.
Honestly, same.
All right, good to know. So tell us about your stripper grandma.
All right, so my grandma's not a stripper, but okay. So this is a situation that happened about a month ago that I was going to tell you guys on the podcast when we were supposed to record.
We did not record 2 weeks ago. That's true.
Yeah. It was like a month or two ago. So, as you guys know, I am a musician. And I play at this bar every Thursday night. And usually it's pretty like, not a whole lot of people go. It's more of a restaurant than a bar, really. I mean, my mom goes to watch me play often. So my grandma, my the sweetest old lady ever.
In full tassel and merkin.
Yeah. 80-year-old grandma decides that she wants to come watch me play. Not only that, they also invite my uncle, who is a priest.
I'm loving
that.
this story.
Seems like a bad decision right at the get-go.
No,
And-
this is an incredible decision.
And my grandma's best friend, who is like 90, like 90-year-old old man, sweetest old people that I've ever met.
And he was wearing the nipple tassels and merkin.
I mean, he might have been.
I'm just trying to get a visual
yeah.
image in my head.
Also, my mother was there, and my aunt, who is very religious.
Only one tassel.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, they get to the place. Like, not a lot of people come in, whatever. We're playing, right? And then this, like, group of dudes come in. And it's like I want to say, like, 10 dudes. And they come in with one chick. Which, in my head, like, I'm not thinking right. I'm just thinking, like, oh, this is probably, like, you know, one of the dude's girlfriends or whatever who decided to come out for guy night.
Sure,
you know?
I guess.
I don't know.
Reasonable.
Sure. So we start playing.
Or their one lesbian friend, realistically. That's
yeah,
what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Their
no.
one lesbian friend, yes.
Fair.
Yeah.
I've been that person.
Yeah. So, like, they sit at the table right next to my family.
Good.
So we start playing, and about, like, midway through the second song, the girl stands up and just strips.
Hell yeah.
Strips, starts giving these guys lap dances. And I'm talking like it was like a string bikini that she had on.
Lindsay, I have some bad news about this woman's sexuality for you.
Maybe just no, I don't want to make it sound like I'm stereotyping bisexuals at all. Their one boyfriend?
There is a chance. I'll give you that.
There is a chance. But it's just like, can you imagine that?
Oh, vividly.
Like, your family comes to watch you play. Some of the most, like, uptight religious people in the world.
You've met my parents.
I have, yes. And this woman, like, straight up, I think I saw her labia at some point.
Let's go.
Oh
dude.
my god.
That pussy plate was not secure.
All I remember was, like, soon as my set finished, I like ran to the table and, like, tried to block the view with my body. And,
It's like your
I'm
parents putting their
surprised she's
hand
not
over
getting
your
kicked
eyes.
out. Like, if it's just like a restaurant, I feel like at this point people would have complained and like gotten her kicked out.
I mean, were the titties rocking?
no, she
Oh,
had
yeah,
she
kick
had
her out.
nothing.
Yeah, if the titties were rocking, I get it, but
No, yeah.
titties will get you anywhere.
Yeah. So next morning, I like, as soon as I got up, I was like, all right, well, time to face the family. And they all laughed. They were all laughing about it.
That's a happy ending.
Apparently, I was the only uncomfortable person there.
That is a happy ending, at least.
I mean, I feel like I
One of
don't
the guys
know
probably
many
got a
families.
happy ending.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I feel like most families would laugh about that.
Yeah. But anyways, that was my grandma's stripper story.
I'm still disappointed.
Wait, I don't understand. But that was like our extended family stripper story. You framed that like it was grandma that was stripping.
No, I know.
And I am horribly disappointed.
I know. I'm sorry.
My grandma would have stripped. She probably would
She
have been right
probably
up there on
would've.
that table with her.
She probably. Well, rest in peace, Lindsay's grandma.
Exactly.
She probably would have.
Oh my god. My grandparents were nothing like that. The last thing I remember about my grandma is her saying very racist things about President Obama.
Rest in peace, grandma.
Yeah, I guess.
Exactly. See, he gets it.
Yeah, does he? Does he get it?
Yeah.
Adrian, you sound like you need a drink.
I do.
Can I interest
probably,
you in a Simply Blueberry lemonade?
You can. I probably shouldn't. I'm gonna be honest. I've been drinking like all damn day.
Oh, then keep going, big guy.
Yeah, no. So like,
Well, is he driving you home?
no. Why would I be driving him home?
No, I think she's asking, am I
No,
driving
other
you
way
home?
around.
Oh no. Why would he be driving me home?
I thought you guys might carpool here. I don't know.
Nah, he
No.
works here. I just show up.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, welcome back to Crack Open a Cryptid.
Hell yeah.
I'm Adrian Castro.
Oh my god, you guys say your names. I'm Tyler Shively.
And I'm. Just hold on. I need the knife.
Jesus.
Look, I don't have any nails. I'm a lesbian.
Does that make me a lesbian?
I think that makes all three of us lesbians.
Fuck yeah.
I'm Lindsay Andrews.
Man, you hit your microphone. Now,
I did.
I'm
You
gonna-
know what? I should really get into a habit of lowering the microphone when I'm cracking it instead of raising my very short, puny arms up to the microphone.
I'm going to cheat a little bit because these crack really nice. This is just a fucking Sprite Zero, but welcome back to another episode of Crack Open a Cryptid. I told you these crack nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have to crack the other one though, so haha. See, it's fucking
Yeah,
dog
that's
shit.
I wonder what Lindsay's writing.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. So I turn off the noise suppression
Yeah.
to crack the can, then turn it back on because my mechanical keyboard can be heard from outer space if I don't. And my girlfriend just messaged me, and I was responding to her. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. Look at you all in love and whatnot. Disgusting.
Yeah, can't
I
relate.
told her before that I aspire to be that couple that when people see us together, they want to projectile vomit because we are so disgustingly cute together.
Love is not allowed in this episode, Lindsay, much as it was not allowed in the previous episode, because to remind you, we tonight are talking about Project MK Ultra, one of the most heinous, horrible, disgusting atrocities ever committed by the United States government.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about MK Ultra. Obviously, I know the name.
That's good to know.
I know the name. I mean, it's pretty infamous. But
I know it involves more drugs
Oh boy, does it.
and prostitutes.
Oh,
She's right. I actually did not write much about that, but that's you do know that.
Well,
I
so we
That
did
was
our
technically-
previous episode,
believe it was
and by we
technically-
I mean you guys did.
I believe it was technically MK Delta, but it is part of MK Ultra.
I went down that rabbit hole after I listened to the Polybius episode and started reading about MK Ultra.
Actually, it's
So
probably MK Naomi, but whatever. There's a bunch of offshoots of MK Ultra, being MK Delta, MK Naomi, MK Search.
well, but nothing ever beats the original.
Yeah, exactly. The sequel is always worse. Now, speaking of sequels, MK Ultra actually is a sequel. To just give a quick recap, because it's been 2 weeks for our audience, but about 20 minutes for us. Operation Paperclip was a operation carried out by the Operative Secret Service during World War II, where Nazi scientists were helped by the United States government to avoid the Nuremberg trials and instead come work for the United States government, along with a few captured scientists from Japanese Special Unit 731, where they did experimentations with LSD, hyperbaric chambers, torture of varying degrees, that being physical, sexual, emotional, mental, whatever. A offshoot from that was, of course, the Project Edgewood human experimentations, where similar experiments were done on unwitting soldiers, part of the United States Army, conducted by the United States Army, approved by the OSS, who were later disbanded. Now, we have to look at MK Ultra. And I scrolled too far down.
That's fine. MK is actually one of my favorite fighting series, in all honesty. I could play MK literally all day.
What's your favorite MK?
Probably MK9.
MK9? I heard that one was good. I don't play fighting games much. I play Smash.
yeah,
which
I don't
know
play
doesn't
fighting games
count.
either.
Wow.
No,
You
it
guys
does.
suck. Yeah.
The new Street Fighter has a very cool looking art style that I'm into.
I used to watch before.
What the fuck,
Oh,
Adrian?
Sorry.
whose phone is
I heard that clear as day.
Yeah, sorry.
That's dope. I like that.
Thank you.
Did you guys know that I have my entire cell phone themed Mass Effect? Like I have
yeah.
all Mass Effect alerts.
Do you have
And background?
when you get a text, does it say I'm Commander Shepard and I approve this message?
No, I'll pull it
should.
up right now. Actually,
All right, yeah. Should
Hold
I
on.
text you real quick?
no, because I have it on vibrate. Here, this
Of
is my
course you do, you
text tone.
deviant. I also have it on vibrate.
Is it gonna play?
Well,
Hold
I
on.
guess I'm the only
You've
asshole
got new messages, Commander.
Very
Did
good.
that come through?
No, that
Yes,
was
yes,
cool.
very-
Yeah, that was
very
cool.
good. I
I
did like
romance trainer, even though she wasn't like a full romance because you couldn't bring her on missions.
I'm
I thought she was adorable.
I'm a Tali stan, straight up.
Also, wait, here's my voicemail.
Message coming.
No.
Patching it through.
I like that. Very good. Very good.
I guess I'm the only
was
one who
Joker
romanced.
romanceable?
No.
Aw, rip.
I romance Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
I don't know what it is about bald women.
says the
Oh my
Wraith
god,
main.
don't say that about Bald Wraith. Oh, don't you?
He was
would like Bald Wraith.
He was a Wraith main.
I was a Wraith main.
Look,
there was a reason.
She's cool, and I like her as a lore character.
I'm just so
but if you
fucking
main
tired of her.
Wraith listener and you're a Bald Wraith, and I see you and I kill you, I will teabag the fucking shit out of you. You are not Imperial Hal, and you never will be.
Well, that's
Wow.
just rude.
Wow.
And I
true.
assume you're going to rage quit anyway the moment you get knocked, so you won't even see me teabag you.
God, I still stand by that game we played, Lindsay, where I still think it was a fuse, but you keep saying it was a Revenant, where the Wraith came up the zip line towards us and the only other team, and we blasted the shit out of her.
And a Wraith, yes!
Yeah, and she fell from the zip line before she even hit the ground. She was a box.
Yes.
She disconnected before she even hit the ground, and then her teammate, which I could have sworn was a fuse, but you keep saying it's a Revenant. It doesn't matter. Started running up the hill like a sane person. 2 shots were taken out of me. He just turned into a box. He just fucking left. He was like, my teammate's a fucking idiot. I had no
his
chance.
teammate ditched him, so he slid down to the bottom of the hill, and then I saw him turn into a box. He was alive. He just said, I'm not doing this.
It was so goddamn funny. I had a G7 Scout and a Mastiff, both of which were care package weapons at the time. And
the G7 was a care package weapon at some
still
point?
is.
What?
Yeah, well, the Mastiff. Oh yeah, because it was the beginning of last season or this season. Yeah,
the Mastiff. Well, in season 0, it was a care package.
Yes,
from what I
it's back in the
understand, it is not as disgusting as it used to be, but it's still pretty fucking disgusting. And I say that because I can get kills with it, and I'm normally not good with the Mastiff.
In season 0, if you heard a Mastiff go off, it was literally scarier than a Kraber. It was like, just leave.
Well, because a Kraber, you still need skill to like. Take.
But a Mastiff would just like, the room is dead. You cleared the room in one shot.
I've done that.
Yes, it was amazing.
I've squad wiped with a Mastiff on my own.
Yeah,
easy. My favorite.
I don't need teammates because I have a Mastiff.
My favorite squad wipe I ever did was early in season 0. Adrian died, and the team of 3 was looting his box. I remember that. I had nothing but a naked Mozambique, season 0 Mozambique, mind you. And I walked up behind them and killed all 3 of them. None of them exited the box because season 0 was fucking hilarious.
I got a swipe today with a 3-man Horizon ulti, and I felt so proud of myself.
I like the term swipe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I stole that from I want to say PUBG started using it before the other BRs.
That's a good phrase.
Squad wipe, swipe.
Now, quick question for you. Have you ever heard of a mysterious piece of machinery known as Polybius?
Never.
Since I've already referenced the episode, I'm gonna think you know the answer.
I
don't know what it is.
I've mentioned MK Ultra in the past, namely on I believe it was our 2nd or 3rd episode where I talked about Polybius, the mysterious arcade cabinet that was believed potentially to be part of the project. It wasn't. Just putting that out there, it was not part of the project. But the events of Polybius happened right after the events of MK Ultra, so it's reasonable to think that it was a part of it. The project of MK Ultra started in 1953 and was shut down in 1973. I just wanted to throw these dates out very early so we all recognize that what we're about to talk about lasted 20 years and not that long ago. The only reason we know anything about MK Ultra, which again, we'll reiterate much like last episode, is a real thing that actually occurred. The only reason we know is because the Freedom of Information Act of 1977, as well as because of that, some declassified documents that came out in 2001. Recently, 2001. Now I need to give you a little history lesson.
I'm gonna be honest. Every time you say that, like my eyes just like
glaze.
Yeah.
I know. A third history lesson. Adrian.
Yeah.
Who fought in the Cold War?
No, I know this one. It's America and Russia.
Lindsay, who fought in the Cold War?
Was there a third party that I need to know about?
Lindsay, who fought in the Cold War?
America and Russia?
See,
No one fought. Wait, no one fought. No one fought. The whole point of the Cold War is that no one fought. It was just the threat of war.
Lindsay, you would do well on the show Game Changer.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I was channeling right there.
All right. So, like, technically there was no shot. Well, they're very, very close. Cuban Missile Crisis. But technically, there were no shots fired during the Cold War.
Except potentially during the Bay of Pigs, but that is, of course, a whole fucking other thing. Now, yes, that is true. The Cold War was not actually a war. It was the looming threat of war. Being alive during the Cold War period was not the best period to be alive.
McCarthyism!
She's correct. Now, people were
This
juggling...
I actually did pay attention to in high school history class.
Let's go, dude. People during this time were juggling with the looming threat of nuclear annihilation while trying to parse what was propaganda and what was actual facts, and this led to a lot of people being scared and anxious at basically all times, a feeling I'm sure we're all familiar with after the last couple years, which I would also say is not the best period of time to be alive. I would say the best period of time to be alive was roughly between 2012 and 2015.
I mean...
Sure.
In my lifetime?
You know how many fucking banger video games came out in that time period?
Yeah, but also the Cubs won a World Series in 2016.
You know
so,
what?
like, if we could...
I'll say 2012 to mid-2016, because late 2016, some shit happened that made everything go downhill.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's say up till October,
wait.
because they won the World Series in October.
Okay, sure.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, November 2016, sharp downturn.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Now, I just want to pull something up real quick. I just quickly Googled games released in 2012. Let me read these out to you real quick. In order of how they're listed, we have Mass Effect 3. Lindsay, I know you're a fan of that one.
Well,
we got Dishonored. Great game.
I love
I love the Dishonored series. You know, so when I go to Canada at the end of the month, right, my girlfriend is getting her first tattoo, and I was super tempted, even though, like, really, I'm not doing it because it's going to take too long, and we already have like a 2.5-hour drive to get to where we're going. I want the Dishonored mark of the Outsider on my hand.
Yeah, Corvo's mark. Yeah, I've thought about that before.
I'm doing it. At some point, I will do it, but just not on this.
I figured you'd get the N7 on your arm.
That would also be cool.
So ideally one day I would like a sleeve or a half sleeve that is entirely space themed, and I wanted to incorporate the Commander Shepard's helmet silhouette in basically the sun with the silhouette in the sun, and then the rest of it would just be like generic space shit. But I want part of Mass Effect in that design.
I've talked about, because Meg asked me a lot, because Meg's into tattoos. I don't have anything against them. I'm just a quivering pussy and never want to get one.
Same.
But if I did get one, I would want a forearm sleeve of like a minimalist what's the term for it?
Like a doodle?
No, a minimalist like the solar system.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like a minimalist model of the solar system, I guess is what I'm looking to say.
Which, by the way, Lindsay, if you're into Dishonored, play Deathloop. It's actually quite good.
Same people, Arcane.
I would love to play any Arcane game. Like, I'll go back and play Prey. I think I got that for free, actually, recently.
Meg and I tried to play Prey, and I really fell off in that game. It's too long.
The DLC is where it's at.
Yeah, I've heard.
I just don't... My whole shtick with Deathloop is that, like, I don't like time travel mechanics and, like, replaying something. And I understand, like, what they did differently to make it unique. And I watched a ton of people play it, and it looked great. And, like, I understand the accolades that it got and it deserved. I just don't think I would enjoy playing it.
That's fair.
Lindsay, can I read you a few more games that released in 2012?
Yes.
We're looking at Telltale's The Walking Dead. We're looking at Borderlands 2. We're looking at Journey. We've got Halo 4. We've got, of course, Guild Wars 2, one that we're fans of. We have XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Oh, love that, yeah.
Got Spec Ops The Line, of course. We have Diablo 3. I don't know if either of you have played Dragon's Dogma, but that's a great game.
I've played Dragon's Dogma. I think it's the second one.
Okay.
I've heard good things.
We had Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Hilariously, we have Lollipop Chainsaw, which as of today was announced to be getting a remaster.
I think it's PC Gamer or IGN have been saying they released an article recently because they said this about how they're like the creator teased like a sequel or something or a remake.
Yeah.
They said it is the most underrated video game ever, and they loved every second of it. I never played it though.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's fun. I don't know about underrated.
Last one I want to toss out there. This one's for you, Adrian, because you and I both enjoy this game. 2012, Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh yeah, wasn't that 2013?
I had a friend who played the shit out of that.
It may have come out in 13 in the States, but it says it was released in 12 here. So yeah, 2012 is just the start of that area that I talked about. Fucking bangers all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna put in my hat for 2012 to October of 2016.
Okay.
Sharp
I
downturn
would say-
in November, sharp downturn in 2020 as well.
I would say 2012 to 2014, but it's because I had a major depressive episode after I graduated in 2014. So, you know.
That's not really my problem, though, is it, Lindsay?
Wink wonk.
Also, can you move up the date to like 2011? Because Skyrim came out in 2011.
You know what? I will move up the date to 2011.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, look, Skyrim has come out every year, once a year since 2011.
Okay, but
I will
Bullshit.
move the date to until they retire Skyrim.
Until they stop releasing it
Yeah,
on
so
everything
what, like-
that's ever existed.
So, like, what, 2043 we're
Well,
thinking?
all right, their next game is Starfield. After that, they said they're going to do Fallout in Britain. And then we're getting Elder Scrolls 6.
Jesus Christ.
So,
So, yeah, 2043, I'm thinking.
yeah, at least.
Now, of course, that was a good time to live. The Cold War period was not a good time to live. The United States government was just fucking funneling money into military and espionage activity to get the upper hand on Russia. Essentially, the government was unshackled and able to do basically whatever they wanted. During this time, rumors ran so rampant that legislation and military operations were carried out purely based on speculation. You see, the CIA feared that the enemy states that we had, such as China, Russia, and North Korea, had developed mind control. Now, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but somebody at the CIA, remember previously the OSS, remember the people who did Operation Paperclip and Operation Edgewood. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but someone remembered the experimentation with mind control being done roughly in the 1940s back in Germany. It could have been by anybody, though. Now, not accusing anyone of anything,
It was probably Lindsay.
but I do recall talking about the Nazis doing this. I'm just saying.
You can't say that, Adrian, when I'm in the middle of sipping my drink.
I specifically waited for you to take a sip of your drink to say
I
that.
figured.
I will remind you, though, that she did strongly disagree with Nazis in the past episode. Lindsay, would you say, roughly an hour and a half after that discussion of Nazis, do you still strongly disagree with Nazis?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Just want to throw that out
There was
there.
a slight hesitation I would like to point out.
Well, the hesitation is that I
Let the record show.
Let the record show I hesitated because I thought of maybe like I even strongly more disagree and
Let the
more
record
agree
show
with
she
punching
almost said agree.
Nazis.
Now enter Sidney Gottlieb. While a man named Alan Dulles was the head of the CIA and approved Project MKUltra, it was Gottlieb that headed the experimentations that were done. He had proven himself in an earlier operation known as Project Bluebird. I want to be clear, not Operation Blackbird, which was the United States Air Force operation that tracked down and wrote of every UFO and abductions sighting in America. This was a different project. This was Project Bluebird that was later expanded, centralized, and renamed to Project Artichoke in 1951. The goal of Bluebird was to fortify the United States agents against enemy mind control techniques, whereas Artichoke was pivoted to use that new information as a weapon, instead turning the barrel towards enemy minds. Their mission statement was as follows. Adrian, if you will please read that quote for me.
Wait a minute. So
It's not italicized.
what's so offensive about an artichoke that they would make that related to a weapon?
I don't-
Artichokes are delicious.
I actually really tried to figure out why they were Bluebird and Artichoke. I think they were just random names.
Is it the one in quotations?
It is the
Gottlieb one.
scroll up a bit. No, up. It is the smaller quote right there. Yes.
Got it. Can we get control of an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will and even against fundamental laws of nature, such as self-preservation?
Now, that was the mission statement of Bluebird and Artichoke. The main vehicle for their potential mind control was through the administration of drugs and psychological torture. 2 years later, the end of Artichoke came about, and the start of a new project based on the findings was started, known only as Project MKUltra. By the way, it's not as interesting as you think, the naming for MKUltra. MK is literally just the designation given to technical operations,
Okay.
which is why all the other ones are MK Delta and MK.
I thought it might have stood for mind control, but they were being edgy and spelling it with a K like Mortal Kombat.
Hilariously, that is one of the leading theories by crackpots, that it's mind control, but it's a K because it's Russian.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I was being a memer.
Yes, but that is a
Crackpots,
genuine
please
thing.
don't think that.
Insane, considering that we know why it's called that. And they're like, no, it's actually a conspiracy theory. It's like, no, it's actually not. It's declassified. Whatever. It's fucking stupid. People are stupid. But I do want to throw out that in Project MK Ultra, they wanted to turn the dial up to 11 out of possible 5. So let's talk about what actually...
Like the way Adrian does liquor sales?
That's exactly...
Liquor scales. I'm going to start calling them liquor scales.
What do you, Lindsay, what do you call it when you go down on a reptilian?
Liquor lizard.
No, you liquor scales.
Yeah.
So after the events of MK Ultra, and I know I'm jumping around the timeline a lot, but I was going so fucking batshit insane writing this that I am scattered. Adrian, I want to stop talking for a moment because you were looking at that blueberry lemonade. I want to know your opinions on it.
It's very tasty.
It's very tasty. And
you like it better than the watermelon?
I do.
That was my favorite. Here, just take a taste of mine. This is just the regular one for, for a baseline.
So much so, I stopped paying attention to you just to admire the can.
It's a very tasty looking berry, right?
Yeah.
Does it come like in a variety pack like the Trulies do?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
The variety pack is regular strawberry, watermelon, and blueberry.
I will have to check that out then.
They're pretty tasty.
Yeah, no, that one's pretty good too, but not as...
The blueberry is just insane.
Yeah.
So the events of MK Ultra were eventually revealed in 1977 and later further declassified in 2001, as we mentioned earlier, by the Freedom of Information Act. Journalist Stephen Kinzer, very important name here, investigated and compiled all the information available about MK Ultra. I'm introducing him early because almost everything we know about the following comes from his investigation, and we're about to read a quote from him because Kinzer wrote possibly the best explanation of the project and Gottlieb's actions during it. And Lindsay, I'm going to take a moment because I'm going to send this one to you. Now, Lindsay, if you could do me a favor and please read what Stephen Kinzer wrote about the actions and philosophy of Sidney Gottlieb during Project MK Ultra. I have sent that to you now.
Gottlieb wanted to create a way to seize control of people's minds, and he realized it was a two-part process. First, you had to blast away the existing mind. Second, you had to find a way to insert a new mind into that resulting void. Much like the taste of
Coca-Cola Starlight. The prayers
we
of a
didn't
dead
get
god.
too far. We didn't get too far on number 2, but he did a lot of work on number 1. We don't know how many people died, but a number did, and many lives were permanently destroyed. I don't remember if you quoted this on the Polybius episode, or if because I listened to the Polybius episode and immediately started reading about this, that I've seen this quote before.
It could be literally anything. We do not remember what we talk about in these few hours.
Yeah, it's like we could literally say anything.
It's insane how many people message me. I'm like, and they're like, that was a funny joke. And I'm like, yeah, it probably was, huh? Now, in order to destroy the minds of their subjects, they were subjected. Why did I write that like a fucking idiot? In order to destroy the minds,
a fucking idiot.
In order to destroy the minds of their victims, they were subjected to a whole slew of psychological, emotional, and physical torture, including but not limited to. And we're going to go back to our 1 to 5 scale here for how much you would like this to be administered to you. Electroshock therapy.
Only if it's directly to the nipples. 5, 0 otherwise.
Learning a lot about Lindsay today. Adrian?
Also, either the nipples or the testicles. 7. Otherwise,
Man, it makes me wish I had testicles. Said no one ever.
I know. I was about to be like, wow, I never heard that.
A 3 if it's administered to my tongue, because yes, I am one of those kids who like would
with like lick an outlet.
Yes.
No, wait. Did you lick the smelly markers when you were a kid? Because that makes me think Adrian licked the smelly markers when he was a kid.
I think Adrian's licked most things. You know how like in old point-and-click adventure games, there's like touch, hear, taste. Adrian exclusively in his real life uses the taste one first.
Didn't that kill you most of the time in like Monkey Island Adventures or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's
like
a poison snake cram. I know that's King Quest, but
okay, but like I don't know, lick's the most exciting of our senses, I would say.
So what I have learned in our session today, which is more than I expected, was that Adrian wants to lick everything. Lindsay wants her nips tased. I also saw Lindsay's feet, which I did not expect. Man,
They are
I didn't
crazy
realize.
flat.
I didn't realize when we brought Lindsay onto the show and said Jeremy, it was going to get hornier.
Wait, no, back it up. Okay, so back in the day,
Yeah, you
when
horny
we all
little
raided
bitch.
on Guild Wars 2 together.
Oh, horny raids. Yeah, horny raids.
We
Is that
used
a
to raid
thing?
with Matt, the guy who did the intro
our
music
theme
for the
song.
pit
Yeah,
hunt,
our
right?
lovely talented
Yeah,
Matt.
shout out to Matt.
So
at
Matt-
Matt Michelak drums.
Yeah, I had an
He-
extended conversation about drums the other day with him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love seeing you two go off in the Discord,
Yeah.
man. Because I'm like,
Anyways.
I don't know any
He-
of this. Yeah,
Is a good, wholesome boy.
he's a sweet, sweet, wholesome boy from Michigan.
And then Meg recruited me to join her static with Matt.
And you horned it up.
I horned it up so hard that you could hear Matt having a heart attack, rolling his eyes at least every 20 minutes. And then he would be gone for a week and come back the week after, and he'd be like, this is what happens when I'm gone. The horny levels go up like 20%. I know. I have a quota to meet, okay? Everyone knows when you add me to anything, the horny levels increase.
And see, it's terrible because I was also in the group, and the moment anything horny gets said, I'm just like a fucking locomotive, man.
Yeah.
You go straight to Horny Town. Like,
Yeah.
there is no horny jail in Horny Town.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I asked this at some point during the raid when someone would be like, go straight to horny jail. Like, wouldn't everyone in horny jail want to be in horny jail?
I
Because
would.
they
It's
are.
the dream.
Yeah, like, horny jail is where all the horny people go. What, do the horny people not want other horny people? Like,
Now, speaking of Horny Jail, this has nothing to do with it. Number 2, administration number 2, hypnosis.
Oh,
1 to 5.
5.
You want to be hypnotized?
I want to read. All right. I don't believe hypnosis is like
and it wouldn't
that.
work on you.
Yeah.
It's because it's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But, like,
no, there is a level of if you believe in hypnosis, you are
you're more susceptible.
So what you're telling me
you
is
are
that.
susceptible to like a level of hypnosis, but it's never going to be like what you see on TV.
So what you're telling me is that the placebo effect is real, and they're just applying it and saying that it's a hypnosis?
Yes and no, but it's less to do like the tick-tock ticking clock, like I can make you do what I want you to, and more of a like it puts you into a relaxed state of mind where you can have discussions about otherwise traumatic events. That is like the point of
Now-
hypnosis, at least in the psychological sense.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up because in other episodes I haven't finished doing, that comes up so goddamn often with paranormal and alien stuff of what's the term for it?
Except this actually has like proven and
Well, yes, but they try to apply that to these
taught
people.
application.
Yeah, they try to apply that to these people to be like, tell us about like what happened when you were abducted.
Well, isn't it kind of like how like some police interrogations? I don't know if you saw Making a Murder on Netflix.
Yeah, where it's like it's a leading question. It's meant to bring you to a certain answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Well, that's exactly
there
what's
is-
happening with the alien abduction shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
leading questions, someone doing the application of hypnosis as a therapist has that power, and it is morally obligated not to do that because you can.
No.
And there's a lot of disputed evidence about like, well, the proven application was you were asking leading questions, but it's not necessarily.
Now,
It's kind of like a
in the last
question
couple
mark.
hours, have we talked about anything that seems morally responsible to you?
No, so I know they're asking leading questions and drugging you the fuck up.
Yeah. Okay. So number 3, sensory deprivation.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not down with that. Strongly disagree.
And this may be naive. I don't think sensory deprivation will like work at all for me because my brain is going a million miles a minute at all times. And
Well,
it's
there's-
Yeah.
exhausting.
I can never shut my brain off.
I mean, you guys know I have genetic insomnia. So like
Yeah.
my brain literally doesn't produce the drug that lets me sleep, which is also the drug that lets you relax.
Uh-huh.
I am never relaxed.
And I'm just a ball of anxiety, so like
You are a cat in man form.
yeah, so
My
like
friend's been in like separate sensory deprivation tanks before, but I don't understand what they are, or like you can find them at certain spas or something.
From my understanding, a sensory deprivation tank is it's literally like body temperature water, it's Vanta black around you, and you're supposed to lay down in the water and you float, so it feels like, but since the water is the same temperature as your body, you don't feel it. You just feel like you're floating.
That's kind of what
nothing.
she described to me. It's supposed to be like ultra relaxing.
Yes, that is my understanding as well. I think it would just make me be like, I'm so goddamn fucking bored. Get me out of this.
Yeah.
See, I mean, not a whole lot of people know this. I'm probably hornier than Lindsay.
Oh,
I just
Adrian,
don't express it
I
in
know
public.
that you are like.
The irony is that I'm not that horny.
You just think it's funny. I think
it's
horny
hilarious.
inwardly and outwardly. Adrian is like fucking Kiyu from Honey Pop, but acts like Leilani or Belly.
Hang on, that's
No, you are a horn dog. Your
First
heart
of all,
pussy is throbbing.
embrace
Hang
that,
on.
because Kiyu is S tier girl. She's
I
fucking
Kiyu is
hilarious.
S tier.
Q is
girl.
amazing. Yeah.
If you're over the age of 18 and you haven't played
Well, of
either of the
course.
Honey Pop games, go fucking buy them immediately. They're so
Immediately.
much
But don't
better
play
than
them on
everything.
Twitch or you'll get instantly banned.
That's true.
Is that true?
Yes, you
Oh.
can play them
Yes.
on YouTube, but you have to censor them.
Oh, that's weird.
Dude, they show
wait,
straight
no,
up
wait, wait.
vagine.
Well, that's true.
If you're friends with Meg, she'll just buy it for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
The amount of copies that Meg has bought of Honey Pop is staggering.
Yeah. No, but from like if you put me in a sensory deprivation tank or whatever, guaranteed I will like just
Just get hard as a rock.
just like
Just start
full-
jacking it in there. I don't
I
think that's
probably
allowed.
wouldn't start jacking it, but like for sure, like it's going up. Like
Once all facets of Adrian is stripped away, there is only horny. That is your base,
Yeah.
your base characteristic, horny.
yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Moving on. Extreme extended isolation.
I mean,
Straight up, I'm gonna go with like a 3 or 4. I can do it.
I'm gonna go with
You say that like I don't do this already.
Yeah, right. Like I'm
Seriously.
for it.
I literally live in Arkansas, which we've established as the void, which I we've established probably if I just walked around outside would taste like Coke Starlight.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Um,
does Arkansas feel like the prayers to a dead god?
honestly,
And I don't interact with other people because I live alone and I work remotely. So
yeah.
The dream.
Honestly, like sometimes I'll go a whole week just like stranded in my room, and I'm fine with it.
I mean, you guys know how terrible I am at replying to any message sent to me from
Yeah.
any platform. Like, this is my default state. Your
I'm
default state
under
is
a
porn.
heat
My
advisory
default
too.
state is alone.
yeah.
I'm under a heat advisory too, so I have not been leaving the house, like full stop.
Adrian's also under a heat advisory, but it's only because he's in heat. Moving on. Extreme verbal abuse.
I also get that
Having
kind of
experienced
often.
that,
Wasn't gonna say it.
0% interested.
Yeah, okay. What about extreme sexual abuse?
0%
that's fucked up.
interested.
Adrian, I know you're like an 8 or a 9 out of possible 5 on sexual
No,
abuse.
not sexual abuse.
You don't want to be sexually abused?
No. Well,
See, if
If
it's
I don't
consensual,
ask
it's not
for it-
abuse.
yeah,
Fair,
yeah.
fair, okay.
If I don't ask
It's-
for it, like, don't touch me, dude.
Now, finally, the
Or
administration.
do that.
Ooh, my alarm was going off that time.
Finally, the administration of hard and/or psychoactive drugs. We've covered this before. I believe we were all pretty low on the list.
I mean,
Now, Duels and Gottlieb both zeroed in on this last one being the likely path forward. They came up with the idea of creating a truth serum, which is a trope that we have all seen in media. And they figured that they could make the first truth serum by administering all kinds of drugs, including mescaline, cocaine, heroin, THC, which again seems like I'll take that one, or of course, LSD.
wait, like all at once?
So you're saying I can have super strength and will be a blabbermouth? I mean, I've already got the oversharing blabbermouth part down already, but give me the super strength, so we're good.
Hang on.
You're looking at the same thing I'm looking at, right, Adrian? So, Lindsay, your screen has been frozen for quite some time now.
Oh no! Why didn't you tell me that?
Because no! Oh, it was such a funny still, dude. We were keeping it together for so long. It was just you about to take a swig, but it looked like you just smelled something putrid. Oh, it was a very good image. So let's talk about LSD, baby. Oh my God. Gottlieb was the first who took fascination with LSD in the project, also known as lysergic acid diethylamide, I believe, or simply known as acid, LSD was technically invented back in 1938. Can you believe that?
That's way earlier. I thought it was like invented in the 60s. Or...
Way earlier, right?
Yeah.
See, it became popularized in the 50s, but it was invented in 38. I'm going to give you each 2 guesses to tell me what country you believe LSD was invented in the year 1938. Adrian, give me your 2 countries.
It's either Britain or India.
Interesting choices. Lindsay? Who I genuinely almost called Jeremy.
Jereminzi. Jerenzi, that's a good one. I feel like it would have. Those probably were my top 2 guesses.
Interesting. It was invented in Switzerland, of all places.
I was close.
Yeah, that's why I was like, interesting guess. So it was invented in Switzerland, but grew in popularity within the field of psychiatry during the early 50s, and of course a widely used drug as well in the 50s and 60s. It is, and this surprised me, I did not know this, it is considered to be non-addictive, but it is highly hallucinogenic, potentially having adverse side effects such as paranoia, anxiety, and delusions. Otherwise known as the 3 things that can describe the 3 of us. Paranoia, anxiety, delusion. Tag yourself. I'm going to go with delusions.
Anxiety.
Well, congratulations, paranoia.
Well, I feel like...
You gotta admit, it kind of fits.
Damn, no, delusions are great, man. Of all those 3, I'd rather have delusions. Fuck you.
Well, you know, I'll be paranoia. Sure. You're just out to get me. I understand. This was, for all intents and purposes, a very new drug on the field, but Gottlieb was convinced that it was going to be his mind control drug. In order to test his theory, Gottlieb, and I want you to pay very close attention here, Gottlieb decided to buy literally, not figuratively, literally, the entire supply of LSD on planet Earth. That is roughly, at the time, 10 kilograms of LSD, or 100 million doses. Can you guess how much this cost the CIA? 10 kilograms, 100 million doses of LSD.
Hold on. See, and I ain't no bitch. I'm not doing it incognito mode. Cost of 1 kilo of LSD.
Well,
I mean, it's coming up on it as a Quora question, so you know this is legit.
The amount of times I've run into Quora doing research for this is insane.
So, like, I know that, like, a little baggie of cocaine is, like, $20. Don't ask me how I know.
That is so much cheaper than I would thought. I don't know shit about drugs.
Right? Okay. So, like, I imagine LSD, would it be more expensive or less?
I would imagine more, or no, because I was going to say because it's non-addictive, but I feel like if it is addictive, you're going to charge more because you can.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, 100 million doses, that's probably about $1 billion.
Lindsay?
I'm just supremely distracted by the Quora questions. If you had 1 kilogram of pure LSD in powder form, parentheses, contained, but otherwise very unstable, parentheses, what would you do with it?
Can I say
I
take a
have
bath?
no idea to both of the questions.
Now, this is going to blow your fucking mind. This has been, I have been so excited to share this guy with you guys because this is one of the first facts I got for this episode, and it has been living rent free in my brain. In the 1950s, Sidney Gottlieb bought literally the entire supply of LSD on planet Earth, roughly 10 kilograms or 100 million doses, for about $240,000.
Really? Well, all right. So I didn't
Less
account
than
for
$250,000.
I didn't account for inflation.
I want to throw out there that Meg and I have been looking for just a condo to purchase, and we can't find anything for less than $300,000.
Sounds to me like you need to use all of that money on LSD.
He bought all of planet Earth's LSD for less than $250,000. That is the funniest shit I've ever
Wait, what
read.
year is that? What year is that?
This was in the early 1950s.
Yeah.
1950s
Inflation.
dollar USD equivalent.
There are calculators where you can just put in like the 240,000 and it'll
Mhm.
come back up. See, Adrian, while she's doing this, I want to point out that our screen is now frozen and we're in very normal looking positions.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fuck with it.
So
either.
$100 in 1950 is equivalent to purchasing power of about $1,017 in 2017, an increase of $917 over 67 years.
So you said 100 went to about 1,000?
Yes.
So roughly $2.4 million. We'll round it up to 2.5.
Also the same price of a California home.
You're lowballing it. Now, to
Yeah.
really see the effects of the drug in real-world settings, Gottlieb then distributed his supply through bogus foundations to hospitals, clinics, and prisons. All he told them was to research it however they saw fit, and just to report their findings directly to him. Now, the subjects who took LSD willingly fucking loved it.
Well, yeah, the Beatles wrote like fucking everything on it.
They wholeheartedly recommended it to their friends and were able to then distribute it to their friends. The drug was then further distributed to their friends and their friends' friends. It was like the world's most successful MLM.
Yeah.
This is actually considered, by the way, to be the reason that LSD is like a drug on the streets.
Did you
to
get
this
it?
day.
I did. Well,
Lindsay got it
I
out.
muted my mic, but the viewers did not see it or hear it. I just clapped a gnat out of the air like a fucking ninja, but I've been working on this for like 3 days, so it's really not that impressive.
I'm still impressed. But yeah, this is, we think, why LSD is like a drug on the streets, because Cindy Gottlieb bought it all and just like put it into America for fun. Now, here's a fun story. Adrian, you keep bringing up the Beatles. Now the Beatles got LSD, of course, later.
Yeah.
MK Ultra would have been disbanded by the time they got them.
Yeah.
But there are quite a few names that you might recognize who did receive LSD technically through the MK Ultra program to use recreationally. First one is Ken Casey, who is the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That makes sense.
Okay. I love that book and I love that movie.
Well, the next one you might recognize as well is Robert Hunter, who is the lead guitarist for the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
And perhaps the world famous poet Allen Ginsberg.
Name one.
I know the name, but I don't know if I've ever read any of
I
his
don't think I've
poetry.
read anything about it. I believe he wrote Howl. Now, of course, none of them really knew where the LSD was coming from because they were through friends who got it from friends who got it from a bogus foundation that was invented by the CIA and from Sidney Gottlieb, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the results were fairly promising. But to control a mind, to really get the results that MK Ultra was going for, they couldn't be as gentle as they had been previously, just giving it out to people. So what they decided to do was gather prisoners, mental patients, drug addicts, and as Lindsay mentioned earlier, prostitutes, strap them down and drug them up. Or as one unnamed agent referred to these group of people, quote, people who could not fight back.
Yo, that's fucked
That's
up.
literally how they fucking described them. Like, holy
Well,
shit, dude.
The thing I heard about the prostitutes was not this.
I'll get into that, actually. I did not write that down, but I
Okay.
do know enough about this, and you can probably supplement my knowledge. I believe that was part of Project MK Naomi or MK Delta or MK Search, because they all had their own little things, but I didn't go super into detail on them because I just want to talk about the major talking points of MK Ultra. But when they gave them to prostitutes, the idea was that they wanted to create almost sex spies to get video footage of politicians and world leaders and stuff sleeping with these prostitutes. and they
Okay,
were
that
both
is what I heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, that project was part of MK Ultra. That is a part of it. There was actually a further project done, same thing, but with children, so that they could have these politicians and world leaders fucking drugged children. The youngest of which in the project was, I believe, 13 years old.
That's not okay.
Now that is not part of MK Ultra. It is a tangential project, but it was happening around the same time. Because, you know, like I said at the beginning of last episode and at the beginning of this episode, all of this is incredibly fucked up.
The thing about the prostitutes, though, about them being basically spies, is that they would drug the shit out of other members of the CIA or like Johns in general of the public. Wait, did you go over this?
Hold that thought, Lindsay. Look at you reading ahead again. Now, let's talk a little bit more about these cases of the regular folks or those who could not fight back. In one such case, a group of mental patients in Kentucky were administered LSD every single day for 174 days, or roughly just under 6 months. LSD every day to mental patients for 6 months.
So how many died?
Of these ones, none, but we will get to that.
How?
Because they were keeping them alive. They were in a psychiatric ward.
Sure. Yeah.
And LSD won't kill you. It'll just fuck you right up.
Yeah.
at least being administered like this, it will. Now, I did not write this down either, but it is important to mention. Two of the reasons why the CIA claims that this was not any of their fault is because A, they claim that the project was okayed by the OSS, which again was not the CIA, but is the CIA. In this particular case, whereas this was extremely illegal to drug these mental patients for 174 days, in the actual court case, it was said that they were drugged for 6 months, and they got off scot-free from this by saying they were not drugged for 6 months, they were merely drugged for 174 days. If you do the math, that is just under 6 months. A lot of this is on technicalities.
Yeah.
But let's refer back a little bit to Project Edgewood from last episode. They also decided to administer LSD to soldiers in MK Ultra and even fellow CIA agents. Lindsay, who read ahead, just to see.
Well, that's not what I was going to say.
Okay.
The stuff about was like they would basically hire the prostitutes.
Oh, to blackmail fellow CIA agents.
Well, no, they would hire the prostitutes to basically the CIA ran a whorehouse, and the CIA would send Johns to that whorehouse somehow, and the prostitutes were to like slip drugs into their drinks and stuff. And
real quick, for people who do not know,
shit.
can you please explain what a John is?
So it's like a prostitute's client is called a John, basically, to keep him anonymous, but it's just a dude that's going to get laid by a prostitute, basically, their client. And so the CIA would set up so that the client would end up at the whorehouse that they were monitoring. And the prostitutes would be aware that they are getting clients, quote unquote, that the government was trying to drug so they can find out if their truth serum worked. So that prostitutes were supposed to like basically pull out secrets of their clients.
Now, Lindsay, that actually is MK Naomi.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure it was ran by like the head of the CIA, no less. And like he would go fuck the prostitutes himself.
Oh, you mean Alan Dulles? The man who hired Gottlieb to do this? That's correct.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Now, back to Ultra, though, MK Ultra, they would drug fellow CIA agents just kind of to see how they'd react. A very classic fun prank they would pull is dosing the morning coffee with LSD.
Jesus Christ.
I did see that too, yeah.
That I know it's fucked up, but that is the funniest shit, dude. That is so goddamn funny to me.
I would love to be a fly on the wall.
Oh my God, right? I do want to throw out, though, basically every CIA agent and literally everybody involved with any of the MK Ultra or MK Ultra subsidiaries, they all tried LSD just so they could see what they would do. Is they would get two people in a room, one would take LSD, one would monitor and write down what happened, and then they would switch places, essentially, where the other one would take LSD and the other one monitored them the next day.
I'd like to point out, because I was curious, LSD is also a stimulant, so they were given a stimulant and caffeinated.
Oh,
they must have been fucking bouncing off the walls.
Oh man, they uppered the upper. Hell yeah. Now, I do want to throw out that all this was, as you can probably imagine, without informed consent. A very, very specific thing that was written down in the Nuremberg codes that were signed after World War II. Fun fact, after World War II, the Nuremberg codes were written after the Nuremberg trials. There were also the Geneva Convention that were written. America did sign the Nuremberg codes. We did not sign the Geneva Conventions.
Wait, seriously? We're not a part of the Geneva Accords?
Oh, Lindsay, were you not aware? No, America did not sign it. We have never broken the Geneva Accord since they were thrown out. Because
I find that hard to believe.
Well, we only did it to our own people, not enemy combatants, and that's,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah. See, we didn't sign them because America literally said they wanted to keep their options open in case they needed to use war crimes.
That's pretty on brand.
Pretty on brand.
It really is.
We use them as a book of suggestions, really, but we did sign the Nuremberg codes, part of which was informed consent, which was breached during MK Ultra. Remember that. Now, Adrian, you asked earlier, has anybody fucking died from all of this? And there is one very important name we have to discuss. One Frank Olson. I want to throw out, this to me is the saddest part of this 2-part series.
Wow.
Frank Olson was an army chemist, a biochemist specifically, who worked with the CIA and was a former agent. Upon learning about Project MKUltra, Olson denounced his superiors, calling the project immoral, and he subsequently resigned from the CIA. This man, at least in this case, was a good person. He saw this was fucked up. He couldn't do anything about it, but the least he could do is not participate. That's all he could do, and he actively did that, ruining his career effectively because he did not want to drug people without consent. Frank Olson, unlike literally everybody else in the CIA at the time, had actually never tried LSD. He held out. He did not want to do it. He was diametrically opposed to the drug. But after his resignation, Gottlieb ordered that he be secretly administered a dose of LSD. He reacted incredibly poorly to the drug and 9 days later threw himself from the 13th story window of his hotel room in New York City as a result of the deep depression that the drug put him into. After the death of Frank Olson, the project was not deterred in any way. Instead, research and production were sped up, taking his death as a very important piece of research.
Damn.
That to me is the most fucked up out of all of this. That they were like, you don't agree with us, so we're going to give you a drug and then you're going to kill yourself. Now, after nearly 2 decades of research, LSD was eventually deemed too unpredictable in its results to be Gottlieb's legendary mind control drug. They instead turned to a different drug that had been proven before, a compound known as BZ.
Okay, so like I thought we got rid of BZ.
We did.
Huh, okay.
And then MKUltra
Probably because it doesn't actually work, it just kills you?
Yes. Luckily for us, the turn away from relatively harmless LSD and instead the turn to the extremely dangerous compound BZ turned many academics away from the project, which likely resulted in the eventual closure of Project MKUltra. So they actually fucked up in being like, we need to be more dangerous and more immoral. And apparently that was the tipping point. That was the line. Frank Olson killing himself, not the line. Children sex slaves, not the line. Administering drugs to mental patients for 6 months, not the line. Using BZ, that was apparently the line.
God.
Right?
Yeah.
It's hard to say anything about it.
It's actually really depressing that like that was actually a thing that like the United States government.
This has been my entire mental capacity for the last 2 months.
Yeah, no, I can see why.
This has not been good for my mental health.
Yeah.
But luckily, we are now at the end of an incredibly awful era. In December of 1974, the New York Times broke the story of illegal and unethical human experimentation on unknown American and Canadian citizens by the Central Intelligence Agency. I did not mention this earlier. Gottlieb did pay agencies in Canada to also administer this to some Canadian citizens, but it was being done by the CIA.
I can't imagine that they were kosher with that when they found out.
No, they were not. They were private organizations, likely other bogus foundations set up by Gottlieb and the CIA in Project MKUltra, but it was never quite proven. This information came to us from the Church Committee, which I was like, oh fuck, is that just a group of like Puritan zealots? Like, I don't want to praise them.
It sounds like the Heritage Foundation, and that's like a hard right-wing fucking hyper-militaristic.
Luckily, it's not. It's just the last name of the dude who led the committee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
This was a group who investigated internal conspiracies for the United States Senate, not to be confused with the Pike Committee, which was the same thing for Congress. The Church Committee discovered the abuse carried out by Gottlieb and Project MKUltra, including the multiple breaches of the Nuremberg Code, as well as the death of Frank Olson. Their investigation, although, was cut short because Gottlieb got paranoid after the Watergate scandal had been broken. He got so paranoid that Gottlieb ordered all MKUltra related documents to be burned in 1973.
I remember reading that, yeah.
He subsequently retired from the CIA. Of course, not all the documents were destroyed. You can actually go online right now and find the remaining documents that were declassified in 2001. They are for public viewing. They are not an easy read. Thankfully, a lot of this information came from Stephen Kinzer and the Church Committee, who did read them and compiled it in a digestible way.
Did we ever do anything to that guy?
Well, I do want to get into that actually right before we end here. Sidney Gottlieb testified to the Church Committee, but he testified under the alias of Joseph Schneider because he gained immunity in 1975. He revealed very little about the project, but did admit to burning the documents. Sidney Gottlieb was not convicted of any crime, nor was he arrested, fined, or reprimanded in any way.
That's depressing.
In 1999, Gottlieb died in his home in Washington, Virginia, but his wife declined to tell the public his cause of death. I hope he was fucking murdered gruesomely.
Yeah.
In fact...
What would the irony be of she slipped him a drug that he didn't take consensually?
I was about to say, like, that would be the ultimate.
What the fucking irony be?
Also, I just want to posit this. I didn't think of this until just now. He died and his wife declined to tell the cause of death. Motherfucker, you stayed with this man? Like, after all this broke and you're like...
Well, if they were declassified in 2001 and he died in the 90s, then maybe she didn't even know.
Oh, God, that's fucked too. But in fact...
yeah, that is also fucked up.
Yeah.
None of the CIA were reprimanded for the atrocities caused by MKUltra, claiming instead it was a different government agency that approved of the project. That's right, they claimed it was the OSS, the very same agency that carried out Operation Paperclip, Project Edgewood, and then rebranded itself to the CIA. Oops.
Yeah.
So they got off because they blamed it on a defunct agency that they actually were just the rebranding of. It's literally the same thing to me as how Facebook has been trying to rebrand itself to Meta. Because it's like,
Meta.
Because, we're Meta. Facebook's that evil company who did all that awful shit. We're Meta. So you can't tell us that we did that because Facebook did that. It is the same fucking move.
Metaverse, I just roll my eyes.
I just think of Persona 5.
Mark Zuckerberg, if you're listening, you're an asshole.
Although, Mark Zuckerberg, if you are listening...
Sponsor the show.
Yeah, I'll stop talking shit on Facebook.
You're an asshole, but give us money.
Yeah. I still can't believe that they're trying to make the metaverse like a thing.
I mean, like, I mean, it's the Oasis from Ready Player One. It's a good idea in theory. We're just not ready for it, really.
Yeah, sure.
Also, the way they're doing it is fucking batshit insane, so stupid. But moving on, the only punishment imparted upon the CIA was a settlement that had to be paid out to Frank Olson's family. You know, the guy who didn't even whistleblow the situation, just said, I want no part of it, got administered a drug secretly, put him in deep depression, and then he killed himself. His family was given $750,000, which is a lot of money in the 70s. It's a lot of money now, but not nearly enough for the horrible shit that was done. That is the only real thing that happened. And I say the only real thing that happened because there's a stupid thing that happened as well, where a personal and public apology was issued by President Ford and the new CIA director, William Colby, who actually had nothing to do with MKUltra. So two people who had
I did read about Colby too, because he was already working for the CIA, but he was deliberately left in the dark.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why we believe he was promoted to director after, because it was like he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so two dudes who had nothing to do with it had to apologize on behalf of the CIA, which is insane to me that Gottlieb didn't have to be a part of that, or Dulles. The only thing that was good that came out of this was President Ford's decision in 1976 to pass the very first executive order on intelligence activities. This banned any government agency in the United States from conducting, quote, experimentation with drugs on human subjects, except with the informed consent in writing and witnessed by a disinterested party of each human subject. It was a good move that was later expanded upon by both Carter and Reagan in order to be a blanket statement to ban all human experimentation in America.
Reagan did something good? That's crazy.
Reagan was cool for like a minute.
Well, also, it kind of boggles my mind that it took until Reagan's presidency to ban all human
It took
testing.
until Obama to ban torture.
Jesus Christ.
That's true.
And it took until Biden, apparently, to ban abortions, I guess. Not his fault, but...
Yeah.
I want to.
That's a joke, listeners.
Yeah, that's a
No,
joke.
that's a joke.
I
We
feel
all
like
support Roe v. Wade
I should
here.
throw that out. I think Clarence Thomas should jump out of a 13th-story window instead of Frank Olson.
Yeah.
Clarence Thomas can suck my non-existence nuts. Wait. So you remember how I said no one ever about I wish I had testicles? I legitimately wish I had testicles.
So Clarence Thomas could suck on them?
Could suck them, and then I no longer would like testicles because they've served their purpose.
Yeah.
They're sensitive little eggs in a very wrinkly, unappealing sack. They're not a great
It's
appendage.
not. Yeah, no. Also, like when it's hot outside, like it is right now
And they
in
just
California.
droop and they
Yeah, and you're wearing like denim jeans.
and they get like
I have
stuck
a
to the side of
question
your
for
leg.
you.
Yeah, hit
Yeah.
me.
So I know you said that, like, Lindsay, you probably, like, I said, you asked me, I'm tipsy, okay? So it's getting harder to talk.
It was a necessary one for this episode.
You asked me if I had any stories from Texas.
Yeah.
And every single one of them is depressing, and I don't want to reshare.
We were derailed by
But
stripper grandmas, yeah.
I do have a question that spawned from something in Texas.
Okay.
We went to a restaurant,
Good start.
and the waiter was a guy who had, as my friend called them, hoochie daddy short shorts. They were basically little Dixies for guys.
Yeah,
and
they're
I
kind of
don't
commonplace
understand
out
that.
here.
Wouldn't they be like really uncomfortable for your nutsack? Like, wouldn't they just like start chafing?
Because I learned about your nipple electrocution and feet thing today. I'll share something about me. Not nearly to that degree. I'm a big advocate of boxer briefs.
Oh yeah.
Because they have this wonderful way of just cradling
they
the
have
nutsack.
Like a pouch?
Yeah, they kind
Do
of
they have like a little pouch that cradle your nuts?
Yeah, and they cradle your nuts in a very comfortable way.
Do the hoochie daddy shorts have cradles?
It is a firmer cradle, from my understanding.
Okay.
I've never worn them, but from my understanding, it is a nice firm cradle.
He was a terrible waiter, but he did have a nice ass. So good for you, sir. You were showing off the assets that you were proud of.
Was there a clear bulge on this man?
To be honest, I was not looking.
Yeah, that's fair. The girl I'm talking to is actually trying to get me to like wear those.
Yeah.
Tyler, I'm a lesbian. I don't want to see a man's bulge.
I fucking know. Adrian, if she does happen to convince you, I'm going to need a photograph for the Instagram.
I'll take several.
Thank you. From multiple angles.
You should wait. He needs to wear the shorts and then like our first branded merch T-shirt.
By the way, I'm gonna fucking start saying this at the end of every episode. And I hate that I am because I hate hearing this. Fucking like, comment, subscribe. Dear God.
Oh my God, he did the thing.
Here's the thing. We don't make money from this. In fact, we are actively wasting money on this, but it's fun to do. And it would be phenomenal if we could make any amount of money on this, because I do think I have a lot of good ideas for merch that I want to put out there. And I think it would be very fun to quit my shitty job.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say that not only did we get, I did notice this on the Flat Earth video, that it was the first, like, you might be spreading misinformation. Here's a link to real information.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Have you read the comments?
Our first DMCA strike?
Yes, you were not there for that one, Lindsay. This was on the Number Stations episode that we did with Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
We played the Lincolnshire Poacher, which is fair use, by the way, in public access, but it's a bogus claim.
We have comments?
Oh, yeah, we get a couple comments. Flat Earth has like 3 or 4 right now, and I can't tell if they're insane people or not.
Wait, are they like Flat Earthers defending the Flat Earth Society?
The
Flirt Society?
Oh, my phone died.
They
You should respond to them with, you should try to recruit them to the new upgraded Flat Earth Society, the Flirt Group.
Very, very true, very true. We should do that.
Wait, what do they say? What are they?
There's one that has a very specific number about the bounty for the flat Earth, like proof, and it was like 23 million something or other.
Wait, so if you can definitively prove that the Earth is flat, you can get me who make $23 million?
It's like, but it was
Something
a very
like
specific, like 23,438,623 or something. It was like a full fucking listed out huge ass number.
Okay.
There was a different one that I'm pretty sure I made a comment in the episode where Jeremy was like, if the Earth was flat, and I interjected, I said, you just fucking see forever. And I'm pretty sure there's one person in the comments who's like, you're a fucking idiot. That's not how it works. Haven't you ever heard of perspective? And it's like, yeah, buddy, I have heard of perspective. And with the right perspective, you can see across a flat plane. You can't see forever because it's fucking curved. I don't know if he's insane or if I'm just reading it wrong, but...
Or maybe, no. I mean,
It's
maybe it's
probably
sarcastic.
YouTube troll.
Yeah, maybe it's just sarcasm.
It's very funny to me.